we do have additional performances for you, but at this time, I am going to move up my Büttenrede. That way you can give me a whole lot of crap later on if you didn't like it, versus me dashing out the door whether I thought you liked it or not. This is kind of an interlude to our next event, which is Prunksitzung, which will be on January 9th here at the Phoenix Club. We do have a season, and that is our next event here. And so this is going to be just a prelude. And I will say, I had thought about certain things, and people had asked me, well, you're going to put certain barbs in about certain situations going on, and I'm like, nothing is set in stone. I don't even have the latitude yet, but by January 9th, everything's going to be sorted out, and one way or another, it's going to be a ball affair. So, this is something different, and when I said earlier I felt like I was sitting at a desk for the evening news, that's what you're getting tonight, the evening news. Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, dead at 53. Over Barcelona today, the famed reindeer was hit by a flock of seagulls and a 747. Eyewitnesses report that the reindeer in Spain was hit mainly by the plane. In Hollywood, 95-year-old producer Fred Scafizzi was found not guilty of sexual harassment. The 95-year-old, however, was arraigned on charges of assault with a dead weapon. This just in, Beverly Hills 90210, Cleveland Browns 3. Disaster at the LA Zoo when the snake pit was accidentally filled in. Said the zoo director, it's a terrible, terrible situation. Now the snakes don't even have a pit to hiss in. Before his passing, famous playboy Hugh Hefner was able to stop an order of monks from operating a business on his property. The police forced the friars to close down their stand outside the Playboy mansion where they'd been selling flowers. Said a police spokesperson, if it had been anyone else, they may have gotten away with it. As we know, only Hugh can prevent florist friars. This just in, wives live longer than husbands because they're not married to women. Hollywood was saddened today when the famous chicken foghorn leghorn died at the age of 65. Memorial services will be held this Tuesday, after which the deceased will be served with a zesty orange sauce. The hitman, Jimmy Two Shoes McCarty, was arraigned today after he confessed to killing that he had been once hired to beat a cow to death in a rice field using only 2 small porcelain figures. Police admit this is the first known case of a knick-knack paddywhack. The great Jamboni, eccentric human cannonball, known for taking his lucky donkey to all his performances, escaped near tragedy today when the donkey climbed into the cannon muzzle just as Jamboni was taking off. It took the surgeons 3 hours to remove Jamboni's head from his ass. Disaster struck today at a ceiling fan convention when the scheduled entertainment, Dr. Linguini and his trampolining sheet hit the floor. According to one eyewitness, everything was fine until one extremely high bounce and the sheet hit the fan. According to a scientific report, men think about sex every 6 seconds, and because... Unfortunately, everything really happened today at 3:14, so we have nothing to tell you. The news this evening, though, is being brought to you by the new Italian suppository, innuendo. 9 out of 10 Americans believe that out of 10 people, 1 American will always disagree with the other 9. This just in, sucking up still gets you ahead in business. After a disappointing summer, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. The 60s musical group The Byrds announced a 24-city reunion tour with their new band member, George W. Bush. It was noted Mr. Bush would play guitar and drums. According to a spokesperson, a Bush in the band is worth 2 in the birds. Donors are wanted today from men whose buttocks are blown off in industrial accidents. Hospital administrators report that donations are a little behind with no end in sight. From the stock market, helium prices up. A fight started today in downtown by a man wearing a suit completely made of mirrors. After speaking with him, police said the man apologized once he had a chance to change or sit down and reflect. A would-be bank robber is in critical condition after swallowing $250,000 in small bills. No change is expected. Noted archaeologist Fred Flintstein made an amazing discovery today in Sweden on a windswept fjord when he came across some primitive musical instruments plus minuscule deposits of fossilized stool. When asked what the stool could be, Flintstein replied, "A dabba-abba-doo." This just in, a man swallowed whole by a whale escaped by running as hard as he could until he was all pooped out. Thanksgiving today was announced from Sacramento that if you have more than 3 members of different households, you could be sanctioned and fined. Governor Newsom thought so much of himself by passing this, he wants to change the day to Thanksgavin Day. I can tell you that will be the name of my bird, and I will really enjoy stuffing it this year. Well, that's the news. We'll see you later.